The reason we have called these people together is to share with them the proposals we have on how, if we are to reopen, how can we reopen safely, and how can we ensure that when learners come back, they catch up with the time they lost while they were at home, for those who did not even attend school at all. So we are not going to share with them a calendar for reopening. As I told you last time I was here, we can only share that calendar after it has been approved by Cabinet.
As per the presidential directive, no teacher will be allowed to interact with learners unless they are vaccinated against COVID-19. This has pushed the reopening date for schools. According to the Ministry of Health, 300,000 doses of Sinovac will be used to vaccinate teachers against COVID-19 to facilitate the reopening of schools. The ministry's target is to vaccinate 730,000 teachers and support staff countrywide. By Thursday last week, 170,234 teachers had received their first dose of AstraZeneca vaccine, and 61,848 had been fully vaccinated with the first and second dose. In Kampala, so far, 10,782 teachers had received their first dose of Sinovac vaccine. During the virtual meeting, some teachers proposed that students report to school, each with 3 bottles of COVID-X herbal treatment, so that if one develops COVID-19 symptoms, they begin treatment immediately. Philbert Baguma, the Secretary General of Uganda National Teachers Union, says it might be impossible to achieve the target of 100% due to a number of challenges.
There are teachers who are up country who may not have access to these vaccination centers. Because, you know, the moment they said these centers are specifically for teachers, the teachers may be denied the chance to go to these other general centers.
Besides building temporary structures at schools to facilitate social distancing, the Ministry of Education also proposes that children who are 6 years old be admitted to primary 1, regardless of whether they have attended nursery school or not. While the plan is to prioritize the education of learners at the lower levels of primary 1 to 3, the ministry proposes to promote community-led learning to help the learners in the lower levels to catch up. The community-led learning will be championed by volunteers.
So if you are entirely basing on volunteers, what happens if you don't get volunteers? So it is an approach that we may say it can work in some areas, and in other areas it may not work.
According to the proposals of the ministry, which are to be presented to Cabinet at a later date, primary 1 to 3 learners should not be in boarding schools. They also propose a review of the curriculum to extract core materials and reorient teachers to deliver an abridged curriculum to facilitate the completion of the 2020 academic year. Gillian Nantume, NTV Tonight.